Hello. Jack Howard has started a discussion, and since I've got things that I think I can offer to the topic, I'm gonna respond to it. But I've chosen almost sunset to do it in, so, you know, because I care about consistent lighting. So I'm gonna try and do this quick. I've got my notes. I hastily wrote them down whilst I was watching his video, alongside two responses. One from Francesca Georgiou and one from Stewart, and they're excellent. So I would suggest watching all three if you haven't already. They'll be right there in the foliage, and you know, I just hope this is going to be informational, educational. Fuck, good start. So, to answer your question, Jack, first and foremost, just as Fran and Stephen have said, yes, you can be confident and insecure at the same time. Now, of course, you can be confident and insecure about separate things. For example, I'm confident that my hair is going to blow in the wind, and I'm also insecure about the fact that my hair is neither long enough nor short enough to make me happy. But I'm also confident that my legs look great. I'm not confident that my chest looks great. You know, shallow things, however they apply to all other things. I suppose then the question becomes, should they exist at the same time about the same things? For example, should I be confident in my ability to discuss a topic, while at the same time being insecure about my ability to discuss a topic without seeming like I'm talking all about myself? I don't know. And also, I wonder how being insecure and confident at the same time differs from just being balanced. Because obviously you should be balanced about things. You should critically review yourself without being too harsh. But is there a difference between being balanced? Francesca offered, or Fran, whatever she seems to prefer, she offered an equation in her own video talking about the certain balances of confidence and insecurity. I don't have much to add about it, other than what I've already said. And then Jack made the point that if you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life, and he said it's bollocks, and I agree. It's utter bollocks. I love what I do. I love this. I love writing. I love it when writing coincides. However, it's work. It really is. First of all, my arm's getting very tired, and that's work, you know? The sacrifices I make for you are plentiful. However, with writing, I'm very passionate about certain topics, and I put a lot of effort into writing effective scripts for them. Case in point, my Pokemon history videos, which I put on my other channel because it's more centered around gaming. Those are a lot of work, and I very much enjoyed making them, I enjoyed planning them, I enjoy the finished product, but there's a reason it takes me a long time to make them, and that's because I just don't want to. And that's not for any particular reason, as I've just stated. It's just that, God, the boringness and it's not a word, the tedium, and the complete discouragement that you feel when in the middle of making something. You're just thinking, I don't want to put this up. People aren't going to care, or if they do care, they're going to care the opposite way, and they're going to dislike it. And I think everyone touched upon that at some point in their own video, so I'm not going to harp on this too long. However, I have a personal sort of philosophy that counters this, and that is the fact that other people don't matter. And I don't mean that in a negative or way. I mean that in a healthy way, in that it's important for me to remember that when I'm creating something, or when I'm just living my life trying to be who I want to be, people's opinions shouldn't stop me from doing what I want to do. People's opinions shouldn't affect me in a way that it makes me less original or less myself. And sometimes it does, you know. I often hear people saying about how they would dress differently if society didn't judge them too harshly. And I'm the exact same. Also cost, and also the fact that some manufacturers don't produce whatever. Anyway, the point is, we shouldn't stop from being ourselves just because of what we think other people might think. And You know, that applies to insecurity and confidence. Just be confident that you are doing the best you can. And if you're not doing the best you can, then that's a different issue entirely. So, that's what I have to say about that. On a related note, both Jack and Stephen talk about how sometimes you stop during videos, and how sometimes you just think, is it worth it? And this can sort of verge into a topic about perfectionism. And I feel Fran also mentioned this at the beginning of her video, how she was talking about the lighting. And I mentioned it at the beginning of mine, how I was talking about the lighting. It's full circle, it all applies. But I believe that if you take things in moderation and you worry not to become obsessed over things, you can create anything. Because a lot of the time, what's stopping you from creating, cutting through all the bullshit, is purely the fact that you don't think you're good enough. You can say, oh, I've received criticism in the past, or, oh, it's just that I want this to be the best it can be. No. You got to do something. You got to do it now, because otherwise you're going to put it off and you'll never do it. And I know that perhaps better than anyone I've talked to. I don't know that at all. I don't know other people's minds. That's exactly what this video is about, that you don't know other people. But anyway, I know for a fact that if you worry about something looking right, or just not having quite the right equipment to make a video, you'll never do it. So don't make excuses. Wing it. Wing that shit. Wing your life. Because if you don't take the resources that you have to hand and make something with them, then you'll never make a damn thing in your life. And improvement, every step along the way, results from just making something all the time. I do need to take my own advice here, but goddamn, that's the way it is. Something I think that's worth noting is that Jack talks about how he can possibly come across as arrogant, whether it be online or in real life. And I feel this as well, in that, here's a sob story. Much throughout my younger life, I was very insecure. I really didn't like myself, didn't think I was good at anything, blah blah blah. Anyway, I grew up and realised that, oh hey, there are things I'm good at, and if there aren't, I can become better at them. Whoop-de-doo, who knew that? And so I sort of took on this persona, and it's in part inspired by Jack. And that sounds weird. What I mean is, in life, online or offline, we present ourselves to people. We have a persona, we have a character, we play a part. Subconsciously or consciously, we try to be better than we are, because why would we present anything less than what we want to be? So we cut parts out of our life. We perhaps don't tell our friends how we're feeling because we don't want them to worry. Or online, we don't show them the negative aspects of our personality, or anything along those lines. You've heard YouTubers talk about this before. But it can lead to a sort of arrogance, a perceived arrogance. And my persona is definitely, when I look critically at myself, it's inspired a lot by Jack Howard, also in part by Daniel J. Layton, and others. Countless other people have inspired who I am, or who I present myself to be, which, depending on your perspective, is who I am. But there is sort of an arrogance to it, and I've been told this. I've been told that I'm too cocky. I've been told that just negative things about my own arrogance, but I maintain it. I still stand by the fact that I would prefer to be disliked than to dislike myself. And again, this verges into the whole fuck other people's opinions thing, in that I often don't care. And some of my friends have praised this, in that oh Greg, how do you not care about what other people think of you? I do. I take a lot of it to heart. I take so much negative feedback to heart, and then I process it, and I ignore it, or at least I present myself to have ignored it. So if say my fashion sense, for example, it's criticised a lot.
a lot of people say, oh, he dresses weird, or oh, those two things don't match. And I don't care. Because I don't wear clothes because they look good. I wear clothes because I like the way they make me feel. I wear capes. I wear hooded scarves. I wear goddamn Civil War t-shirts with a weird kind of cloth flannel. It's just confidence, man. You gotta fake it till you make it, which is just another way of saying train yourself to believe you're better than you are. And, you know, it works. Whether or not it's healthy is another question. But it works for me. And what this can lead to, as Jack mentioned, is this sort of, I don't know what it's called, a fraud complex, where you believe you've tricked other people into thinking that you're worth something, when in reality you're worth nothing. You got there by luck. And it's dangerous. I don't have much to say on it, but just Google, I think it's fraud complex or something like that. The idea that one day the world will come shattering around you and everyone will realise that you're a talentless hack. It's a real thing, a lot of people go through it. Educate yourself and hopefully you shouldn't get hit too hard by it. One thing that I hope, because this video has been largely unscripted, is that this hasn't come off as an incoherent mess, or that I'm just regurgitating what the 3 people before me have said. But I hope that in some way you can take something from this, and in some way you can join in the discussion, whether it be by leaving a comment, by making a video of your own, like so many of us have already, or just by tweeting us. Tweet any of us and continue this discussion, because it's something that's definitely worth talking about, and it hasn't really been talked about much before. And, you know, a big way of dealing with insecurity is by having real talk. Just, talk about your feelings! It's helpful. Thank you. Bye-bye.